The Hard Work Works fitness app. Overcome the holiday weight gain and get on track with your own personal trainer right at your fingertips.
The Hard Work fitness app works for all ability levels. Full gym, no problem. So what's included? You get over 200 workout plans available for every situation, from a full gym to no equipment at all. You also get access to a nutrition guide to keep you on track during the holiday season. All this for only $10 a month.
There's a special offer for Gear Freaks listeners. Use promo code STUPID.
Stupid? And get December free.
The Hard Work Works fitness app. Decide, commit, succeed, and join the hustle today. I love Los Angeles. I love Hollywood. They're beautiful. Everybody's plastic, but I love plastic. I want to be plastic. That's Andy Warhol. I'm Justin, jersey number 14.
I'm Corey, jersey number 72. Shout out to Andy Warhol for that gem. Who doesn't like plastic, people? I mean, maybe not all plastic, just minimal plastic is usually ideal. But we have zero plastic today. Today we have nothing but elite swag coming down the pike for you, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have, despite coming from the land of plastic, the Los Angeles Lakers are on deck.
I am interested here because we're bringing Dennis on, and you may know Dennis. He's a stud. He is Lieutenant Commander Dennis Black and Asian from the world famous Dork Trek podcast. And Dennis, we're bringing on the first team that we actually hate.
Yes.
So you're coming in to defend a team that we hate. But it is impossible to argue that you guys have like elite level gear.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the invite. And definitely no plastic with the Lakers, all just championship gold.
Oh,
it's true
already, man.
Know, right?
Just chesty out of the gate.
Well, I mean, but I guess like to start right with championships, like last year, I mean, how do you not root for LeBron? Like, you know, some people.
It was apparently easy.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is in the hired gun way, but like, what a dude! Like, I'm a Suns fan, and we were like the best in the bubble, but we didn't make the playoffs. So like, when the Suns don't make the playoffs, I'm looking at the Lakers. I'm looking at like LeBron as a person, and I'm like, I got to get on board. This is the one time I think ever in my life I'm cheering for the Lakers.
Yeah, it's kind of like so last year with the Women's World Cup. I know this is soccer, but it's just stay with me for a second here. So
I'm with you. Corey
during the
might
Women's
not
World
be.
Cup, there was like a big kerfuffle about social justice and stuff like that.
Yep.
And the captain, Megan Rapinoe, had like a Twitter war with our outgoing president.
Yeah.
And he basically told her win something first and then talk. And so they went out and they won something. And so she continued to talk. And a lot of the whole, the NBA bubble was impacted greatly by a lot of the social justice stuff going on
Yep.
in the world as well. And it was kind of the same thing. People were telling LeBron, shut up and dribble, and so he dribbled and then he talked because he could talk then.
Right.
Well, the thing is, like, the NBA, for as awful as it was at one point, as far as like it wasn't very outspoken, and sure, it still has its issues, but I feel like they've let the players be, they've let the players have voices, and especially now when the league is like kind of on the rise, and you put it up against like the NFL, who's saying no, you can't.
Right.
I don't know, man. Like I don't want to applaud the NBA because it's still, huge giant corporation, but like we kind of need the players to be able to talk like that, don't we?
Yeah, I think so it's a legacy of David Stern, and the NBA players have kind of always been a reflection of society at large. Like in the 80s, it was a lot about, getting that money. Michael Jordan, big sneaker deals, all that kind of stuff. And then, you hit a rough patch in the late 90s and the early 2000s because there really wasn't a good spokesperson for the league at that point. Kobe Bryant was probably one of the biggest stars and
facto.
had the whole rape
Yeah.
trial thing happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, Allen Iverson, pound for pound, was the best player in the league, but he turned a lot of people off. So
Yep.
there wasn't really a go-to person that could sell the NBA, but they still stuck with the model, that the players were the product. And LeBron comes along 2006 and he's a guy, clean cut that says the right things and does the right things. And, they hung in there. And when he started winning titles, the NBA started coming back.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
and then
right.
you put him in LA and suddenly the league is
free agency. They didn't put him in LA. Come on.
well,
what are you
yeah.
trying to do?
You know,
No conspiracy.
he ends up in LA. How about that?
Exactly.
And suddenly, the league is on the NFL's coattails.
Yep.
Like the NBA will surpass the NFL in our lifetime.
Yes.
If not within the next 5 to 10 years. But let's get to like the Lakers specifically here. I'm curious, how do you become a Lakers fan? Because like me, you're a Mets fan. I don't know where any of your other affiliations lie, but like how do you become? Because most Mets fans are Knicks fans. How do you become a Lakers fan?
Well, the Lakers were the first team that I was a fan of, and I became a fan by watching basketball with my dad. Something I didn't know at the time, because I was like 4 or 5 when I started watching basketball with him, was that he's a fair weather fan. And so I just thought the Lakers were our team. So all throughout the 80s, I was rooting for the Lakers. And then suddenly my dad becomes a Bulls fan. I was like, what are you doing? No, we're Lakers fans. So
Wow.
I never, I've stayed committed since then. It was easy, of course. When you have a team that's great when you're a kid, you never really.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it helps.
Bandwagon.
You won all your champion, like, because for the Lakers, like it. I hate them because they've been in my way.
Right.
But like you look at like the Showtime Lakers, and you had some down years in the 90s, but in the early 90s they were in finals, and they were back in the finals by the end of the 90s. Like
Right.
You talk about down years, it was like 4.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
I think the 90s is the only decade of the NBA's existence that the Lakers did not win a title. So, and in most decades, they won multiple titles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, because they ran up against the Bulls and the Pistons early, and then I don't think they got back until Kobe came to town. Right.
Yeah.
So like 99, 2000.
Shaq and Phil Jackson, the
Yeah.
3, yeah.
Yeah, Vlade Divac couldn't do it for us.
I was thinking because we made trades with y'all. I think we got Cedric Ceballos from y'all. So like he was your guy for a minute.
Wasn't it the other way around?
Maybe.
I thought he came from Phoenix to L.A.
Possibly.
AC Green, I think, was in there too.
That
was
may
that
have
a
been
free
the
agent
Green
deal?
played in the 80s, and then he hung around for the 90s for a little bit. But he was
Okay.
already old and still not having sex by then.
that may have been the deal though. Like I think we might have dealt Ceballos to y'all for AC Green.
Oh yeah, that might be true. Yeah.
That's a quality trade on Phoenix's part. So I mean, let's get to the gear though, because seriously, as much as I hate the Lakers, I picked them as one of. I think they were number 2 on my top 10. Like that, the Lakers purple and gold is practically undefeated. Like it is some of the best gear in the history of sports. So where do your allegiances lie as far as Lakers gear? Like what's your favorite Lakers gear?
I think the gold jerseys with the purple lettering and numbers. I think that's my favorite because I can just see it. Magic Johnson going down the court, no look passing to James Worthy, and him dunking on fools. So I mean that's what I see in my head. Of course the purple ones are nice too, but just that gold uniform, it's flashy. It gets your attention just like the Showtime Lakers were. So I think when they're at their best, they're in their gold and they're flying down court and scoring on the fast break.
And,
Right.
Yeah, like again, you hate this because Kobe comes around and him and Shaq lift the team back into the finals. They lift the trophy again for the first time, since whatever, 88, 89. And I don't know, man. Like, so as a kid, you're getting spoiled with all these championships. What is it like to go through those 90s years, and then consequently when Kobe and Shaq come to town, how does it feel, the redemption of getting back there?
So I was in high school for most of the time that they were really bad, so I had other distractions to focus on. It wasn't as a big a part of my life at that point, and I don't know if it was one having to do with the other. They weren't so good, so I didn't pay that much attention to them. But
Right.
I made it through those like 4 or 5 years until they drafted Kobe, and by then I was in college, and once they started lifting those titles again, I was an adult, and it was great.
So, how different is the league? The Lakers and the league, if they don't make that trade, they don't trade Divac off to Charlotte and for Kobe Bryant. Like, how do you see it going? Like, how long do you think it takes before the Lakers lift the trophy again?
Jerry West is such a great GM, and he kind of proved it when he went to Memphis too. Like, he just knows how to build teams and find winners. So even if Charlotte hadn't gone for that trade, he would have found something else. He would have found another piece to go with Shaq and to fit Phil Jackson's system of the triangle offense to make it work. So I think they would have been all right. Obviously, Kobe's one of the greatest players ever, regardless of how people feel about him, on or off the court. He's just one of the best. And you really can't go wrong with a player like that. But I think Jerry West would have found a solution somewhere.
Well, and when they pick up Shaq, we're talking like this is like Shaq
Prime
Diesel.
Shaq,
This
yeah.
is like, this is Shaq can put a team on his back and take them. Like, he could have.
He can still jump a little bit.
Yeah. Like, honestly, that Lakers squad, like when Shaq and Kobe, like Kobe was still kind of like number 2.
Right.
And up until they run into that Pistons squad, I thought we were looking at Lakers championships for like forever. Like, I didn't think it was ever going to come to an end.
Yeah.
So when a team like that Pistons squad puts you all to 7, like, do you think, oh shoot, it's an end of an era, I have to go through rebuilding again? Or do you think, you know what, we're the Lakers, it'll be no time flat before we're back up and running?
It always kind of feels like with the Lakers that they're going to figure it out. Because everybody wants to play there, regardless of where the players come from in the country, Chicago, New York, wherever. They all eventually want to play for the Lakers or the Celtics because it's the 2 premier franchises of the league, of the association. So it's such an easy sell when it comes time for free agency. Hey, you want to go to the Lakers? You want to go to Minnesota?
Yeah. I mean, which sucks because there is a fault in the league, but I also see, again, Phoenix is a great example. Phoenix has built a nice young team that, but the problem becomes that big first free agency. Can you keep them? Like, does Book stay there? Like, I don't think, did LeBron come after? No. It wasn't. I think it was, it may have been Shaq who said Book has to leave there. He has to get out of Phoenix on his next contract. And it's like, but I think number one, the Lakers and the Suns is a long forgotten rivalry.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but like those early to mid 2000s feuds with y'all, oh my God. Like, that is the reason I can't get the Lakers out of my head. Like, I can't get the Lakers out of my way because so many times we were the best team in the league and we should have gone to the finals. We had like the
Nash and Amari years.
Yeah, like Raja Bell was like the only dude in the league who could lock down Kobe, and it's like, well, I mean, as much
relatively
as right, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, relatively,
slow him down,
like 20 instead of 30. But it's like we should have won at least a championship, but the Lakers were always in the way. Well, the Spurs the one time, but
Right.
also Tim Donaghy. So that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But so the Lakers are, my hated rival. I don't know how you feel about Phoenix. If Phoenix isn't the Lakers' biggest rival, who do you consider y'all's biggest rival?
Well, I mean, I think without question it's the Boston Celtics. I mean,
Yeah.
they owned the Lakers in the 60s. It was ridiculous, seeing them every year in the finals and then having to finish second every time, except once, I think. So they were just, the Celtics were so unbeatable. They were the first true dynasty in professional sports, it seems like.
Yeah.
But and like I said, in the 80s when I was a kid, I was watching, and the Celtics were kind of the big rivalry at that point too. I kind of just feel like the NBA is more fun to watch when the Lakers and Celtics are both good.
True.
Not necessarily the best teams. They don't have to both be the best teams, but when they're good, then it's just more interesting because there's always a chance they can meet in the finals, and then it's another, which one of these legendary franchises is going to walk away with the championship again. Well,
what was it? When the Celts bring in Garnett and them, and that that brought me back to, well, I was there because of the Suns, but I was fading because the Suns kept getting bounced. But when the Boston trio meets up with the Lakers in the final, I'm like, I hate both of these teams, but at the same time,
yeah, as a fan,
this is happening. It's Boston and the Lakers in whatever year it was, 2010 or however long ago.
And both squads were gross.
Yeah. And I think didn't it happen back to back? They took the first one and then y'all took the second one. And as much as I wanted to hate that, it was good for the league. And ever since, basketball's been back on my radar.
Yeah. Although I will say that Celtics team, those players, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, everybody, they talk like they won 5 championships.
Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah.
You guys won 1 title. Shut up.
Yes, 1.
They get a lot of mileage off of that, man. They do.
Well, you crapped your pants, Paul Pierce. Good talking.
Well, I mean, what sucked is I think the Bruins won a cup right around then.
Yep.
And of course the Patriots. So it was Boston was,
the Sox,
we're Boston. It's oh man, shut up.
Yeah.
Only Boston could make me like Los Angeles.
Right, dude, right? It somehow makes him more likable. So I got to ask Dennis, toward the end of, we talk about lulls in the Lakers as being a Lakers fan, there certainly weren't many. And it's kind of hard to look at this now with the benefit of hindsight, obviously, given, what happened to Kobe last year. But when you guys kind of toward the end of Kobe's run or his career, and you guys were, paying him money to keep him around, things of that nature, but the team wasn't nearly as relevant as they normally were in terms of winning and would be again. Where were you at in there? Would you have rather, obviously you don't want to jettison a guy like Kobe, but, if you could take yourself back to that time, where were you at during that era when Kobe was, they were giving him the send-off that they wanted to give him, but the team wasn't racking up W's the way you'd want them to?
I was always that deluded fan who thought, oh, Kobe's going to come back from that Achilles injury and he's gonna start scoring 40 a game again, not realizing he's in his 30s. And even though he was still pretty great when he came back, he was nowhere near what he was before. But there was always these flashes where I think they were playing New Orleans in the playoffs that next year or something. And then he had a dunk in the lane that was just phenomenal. I was like, oh, he's back. But, it never really panned out. But the Lakers have this, with Magic Johnson. There's just these franchise guys that you got to have to stick around forever. And, Magic was that way. And Kobe was that way. And it makes them icons in the franchise. And if Kobe could stick around after Shaq left in those years, then we might as well, fly the plane into the mountain. Oh, I guess that's not a good.
Oh, jeez. I did not expect such a thing from you, sir.
Sorry.
Well, what's funny is so I was team Shaq when they break that up. Shaq goes off to Miami, And I'm like, he goes and gets one, and Kobe can't get back. But I can't lie, when Kobe does bring them back, I'm like, was the first one Oklahoma City, Orlando, or they beat some duds.
I think it was Orlando.
Yeah, obviously it wouldn't have been Oklahoma City. It would have been Orlando.
I know. I think that was the Orlando one.
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard put him on the bat. Good for him. But I mean, like, still, he goes, fine, get this guy out of here, and puts the team on his back.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, again, say what you want about choices he made when he was younger.
Right.
Hell of a ball player.
Yep.
Hell of a damn ball player. And I think he redeemed himself from what he did. You can never forgive something like that.
Right.
But I think he redeemed himself.
Yeah, I think, it's the same thing with Michael Jordan. Like, kind of a shitty teammate, degenerate gambler, but, the greatness makes everybody forget about it at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I got to ask you, Dennis, as a Sixers fan here. So what if I wanted to be a douchebag, considering that
Well, you're already a Sixers
two
fan.
of I know, right? I'm just trying to completely check the box here. So if somebody goes, hey, look, 2 of those rings that Kobe got were against that shitty Sixers team that had AI and a bunch of dudes like Eric Snow and Tyrone Hill and Aaron McKee.
Just won. I think we just faced you guys one time in the finals.
Yeah, but then there was that terrible Dwight Howard Orlando Magic team with Courtney Lee and Jameer Nelson and things like that. Like, if hammered guy in the bar who's had one too many came up to you, if you got a Lakers hat on, and goes, hey, with those 2 rings, what would you give him the business, or would you would you entertain it a bit?
I mean, it's hardly the Lakers' fault that the Eastern Conference was just garbage. A lot of the
That's
time.
true.
Honestly,
That's true.
though, like, the Lakers still had to get through the Spurs. They had to get through the Sacramento Kings, who were pretty good.
Yeah.
There was always other great teams in the West that they had to get through to make it to the finals. So
Notice
in
he
those
didn't
years
say
when
Phoenix.
it wasn't the Boston Celtics, so what?
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
no good teams out east for them to play.
Yeah.
Certainly not the Knicks.
Oh God.
Right. Yeah, they've been trying to find it for 50 years now. Christ. But you mentioned Christ almighty, I'm having a brain fart. Fuck.
Trying to follow pick up on your thread.
I was, and it just escaped me. I should be better than this. I just fucking had it, and it escaped me. God damn it.
Well, so I mean, to your point, Dennis, the West the West even still really is where it's at. So you guys ran into the Kings a lot. You ran into the Suns. How dare you, sir?
Mavs.
The Mavs.
Or, with Steve Nash too. Still.
Yeah. Like that Mavs squad was really good.
Yeah.
But that was always kind of like the de facto championship series, the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
Who would you say? So obviously, over history, the Celts are like the Lakers' greatest. But in more recent history, who would you say the Lakers' greatest rivals are? Like if a team comes up on the schedule, you go, ooh, I hate those guys.
I mean, I guess for the last couple of seasons, it'd be the Clippers. Just because they've kind of loaded up and they think they're really good. But
They're still the Clippers.
Right.
they're not. They got to win something first.
Yeah. Always going to be the little brother. That's where I was going to go, was those Kings series.
Aha.
And when you said the West and Sacramento, I went, oh, man. How did I just had that thought. And,
Well, those Kings teams, talk about Vlade Divac again.
Right.
But he had
They were
nothing.
good, man. Those Kings teams weren't
Yeah,
good.
they were.
What is it?
Peja
like
Stojakovic.
Stojakovic.
Peja, Bibby,
Chris Webber.
Weber.
Chris Webber.
Yeah.
Yep. White chocolate.
Yeah.
Jason Williams. He was good. That was my man's.
I'll never forget Peja Stojakovic when he got drafted. Like he put on they all put on the baseball cap of the team they got drafted to.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like such a dweeb. I was like, oh man, I can't believe they drafted this guy. And then he started playing. I was like, oh my God, how come we didn't draft that guy?
That guy from the 3. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, here we are. Since we're talking about threes, one of the players I hate the most Big Shot Bob.
Yep.
I don't.
Hit him?
How can I hate him? How many times did he
It's
beat
his
me?
fault he can hit shots that nobody else seems to be able to make.
Because we had him and he didn't do shit when he was a Sun. We got him from Houston, I think. So he's Big Shot Bob for Houston. We get him for Barkley, and then he does nothing for Phoenix, and then he goes to San Antonio, wins clutch shots. He goes to y'all, hits clutch shots. What the hell? Like, the only place he didn't do anything was Phoenix. But I gotta give him.
That's the curse of Barkley right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Because we had, one good season with Barkley? I mean, they went to the finals,
Right.
pushed Jordan to
happened.
6 games,
Yeah.
but
I won't lie, like I always kind of rooted for the Suns whenever the Lakers weren't doing well. Like you guys had a fun team with Dan Marley and Tom Chambers and
Yeah.
Thunder Dan.
Thunder
Jeff
Dan.
Hornacek
Yeah.
and KJ. Like it was a fun team to watch.
They were. And pretty much throughout history, because, I keep coming back to, we were your all's rivals, damn it. Dennis will never admit it.
Right.
Yeah.
But like that
And I got to tell you, Lakers are everybody's rival.
that's true. That is
Not
true.
everybody is the Lakers' rival.
Also true, unfortunately.
true.
But like that Suns team that kept running into the Lakers, like, oh my God, that team was fun to watch. Leandro Barbosa off the bench.
Yeah, dude.
I love that dude because he would get after it. Like he was a great defender, and we didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot of those.
I think they got Trevor Ariza from you guys too, right?
Yep. There's another guy like he didn't do jack for us, went elsewhere, and it's like, all right, cool,
I
thanks,
can ball
man.
now.
Boris Dia
Oh yeah.
from Sean Marion too. Like, oh my God, like that squad should have won a championship, but I digress. Phoenix will be another day.
They were all too distracted with Sean Marion shooting form.
He did have weird. I mean, he would hit like
Right.
I think he.
Yeah, but how?
It just
I
looked
don't know.
bizarre. Yeah.
I don't know, but he did.
It reminded me of what's his name, Bill Cartwright from the Bulls.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
He would always like cock from the side before he shot. I was like, how can you not block that? He's like telegraphing his shot every time.
There was a dude I went to middle school with, Jason Willie. He shot like that, and like I was like, I mean, he was on my team, so I was like, whatever. But like, I'm like, why are you shooting?
How?
Like, how? Like, what is happening here? Of course, I was mounting around a rebound, so I couldn't shoot for shit. But like, I was Rodman up in there, like
Right.
just grabbing boards.
Did you have the sweatband?
No, I didn't, but I did have sweatpants. I definitely wore sweatpants on the court. But speaking of Rodman, Rodman had like a breath there in Los Angeles when Rodman comes over, like basically towards the end of his career. Like, is that a coup for you? Because I think that's somewhere around the time where like they're trying to buy the championship, which is
That happened with like the glove too.
yeah, like the glove and Karl Malone.
Malone,
like
yeah.
they all
Yeah. Then those guys were hunting for a championship because they're like, how can we lose with Shaq and Kobe? They've won the last 3 titles. We're gonna come here on 1-year contracts and it's gonna be easy. And it wasn't easy.
it's
I
funny.
mean, they made it to the finals,
Right.
Right.
which is still great. But
Well, what's funny is, as I'm saying that, like, other than bringing in Shaq and obviously now LeBron, like, I think the Lakers actually build to their like, it's hard to hate on them too much because they actually do build to their championships. I mean, they might bring in
current roster excluded. I mean, they traded for AD and they signed LeBron for free
Right.
agency. There's really not a homegrown star with the Lakers right now,
which
except like Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah,
he's not
but
even
you-
that important for the team right now.
Yeah, but you can say that about anybody in the NBA now to a degree. I mean, I mean, if
the Bucks end up winning with Antetokounmpo, then,
Yeah.
he's a homegrown guy, and apparently he's going to stay there forever. So
I
Right.
hope so. Like, I don't know. Unless he goes to New York.
I think didn't he sign an extension?
he did.
at the
I
end of
think
this year?
5 years, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's not going anywhere.
But so I brought up the Knicks, and that's the second time they've come up in this conversation. So we have to talk about New York. You talked about when New York, or I'm sorry, when Boston and Los Angeles are at each other's throats, when they're both really good, the league is better. Isn't it always better too when the Knicks are at least good,
viable, quasi?
Yeah.
I miss
Carmelo Anthony was there, and they
Yep.
were pretty good. And Amari Stoudemire. I mean,
I know.
they had a pretty good team.
And
They couldn't win it all, but they were still fun to watch.
Yeah.
I want the Knicks to be good so bad, but they are such a disaster in their office, and it's just like,
Yeah. They can't get out of their own way. That's Dolan, man.
the league could be next level if you have New York.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they're trying to fill the void with the Nets, with the star power Jay-Z and whatnot, but I can't name any of the Nets players. I don't know who's there anymore.
I mean, Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Irving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That shows you how plugged into the league
but
I
they
am.
but that's just
They
recent.
both
And
got there this year.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and it's not the homegrown deal. They threw money at them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Still, Kyrie's a guy he was mega important to LeBron in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I still don't think, especially since leaving Cleveland, when he was the guy in Cleveland, he didn't do what he could have done. And then since leaving Cleveland, he still hasn't been the player that he could be.
Yeah. Well,
Winning that title in Cleveland gave him the confidence to be the weirdo that he is. and
Yes.
Just turned off his teammates. He turned off his teammates in Cleveland and in Boston. And give it a minute. It'll probably start turning people off in
Yep.
New Jersey. In Brooklyn too.
yeah, well, he can ball his ass off, but when he gets going on his flat earth
Yeah,
shit,
it's great.
eh,
I'm a Duke fan, so I was Team Kyrie when he got drafted, even though he only played 8 games for the Blue Devils. But
yep.
He's a great player.
He's
just kind of out there.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
and Rodman's another one of those guys, couldn't get out of his own way. Meta World Peace. Couldn't get out of his
Jesus,
own
that's
way. But
I don't know, man. Meta got some rings with the Lakers too.
he did.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I don't care what anybody says. If somebody throws a cup of beer on me, there's probably going to be a fight.
Oh, agreed.
If I'm Ron Artest in that moment, how does he not go beat that guy's ass?
Agreed. Him and Steven Jackson. I mean, to me, it's just there's I get you can say the malice shouldn't have happened, maybe, but at the same time, maybe drunk dudes shouldn't throw shit at fucking players.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that is he went and beat the wrong guy.
Yep. Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
He was for a moment there trying to be Rodman, but Rodman who could score as well.
Right.
But you look at the long list. Now that we're laying it out like that, you had your Rodmans, you had your Malones, you had your Paytons, you had your Meta World Pieces. Although, again, like you pointed out, he got some rings. Is there a player that you look back at and you're like, man, why did we get him?
Smush Parker.
Yeah, I guess for every major talent that you guys signed, there's plenty of duds.
Yeah.
There's always a Smush Parker in there somewhere.
Right. I remember the Dwight Howard and Steve Nash thing. I don't think that worked out super well either, from what I remember. 'Cause then they came in the same off season, didn't they? That was when Kobe was still there.
Yep.
Yeah. But Kobe was still a little hurting, and Dwight wasn't 100%
Okay.
at that point either.
Right. Yeah, he fell off
So
quick.
Unfairly, people expected Dwight Howard to come in there and start wrecking shop, but it's it was star-crossed time. I thought they were going to win the championship when they traded for him mid-season, and just didn't work out. And sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Dwight came back and he won the title with him last year, so it's fine.
Right. Well, he's one of those dudes people still get geeked up about. Sixers fans were kind of giddy when we brought him in. It's I mean, really, what do you the hell is this, 10 years ago? What do you think this dude's going to do?
If you only need him to come in for 14 to 15 minutes in a game and just work his ass off, he'll do it, and he'll be great at it.
See, you listen to Dennis, and it's this is a guy who knows his team is it's gonna win eventually again.
Yeah, right.
If
Must be nice.
I have a lot of history on my side.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Phoenix and Philly fan over here, we're
Yeah.
we gotta win now.
Right.
I think
If Phoenix wins the title, it's gonna be a torrential downpour in Arizona, like for a month, because it's just so it'll transform things in that state so much for them to win a title. I think.
I think this team can. They have a lot of heart. But like I look at some, I don't know, man. Like I haven't
Chris
been able.
Paul there right now.
Yeah, dude. And I mean,
Okay.
and he doesn't have to be the guy either, because Book's
Right.
the guy.
Yep.
So like he gets to play second fiddle, and hot damn, does he play second fiddle really fucking well.
Yeah.
And then in the interim, you got guys like Ayton. They're coming up huge, and it's like I love seeing what this team is doing, but then I watch them like choke away like big leads and end up in overtime against the Pistons, and I'm like, oh, why is this happening? Don't do this. And then like not being able to put teams away like that bothers me, because that's when it comes to playoffs, you got to be able to put teams away.
Yep.
I think that I mean, we're obviously talking about the Lakers. So last season, the bubble kind of showed that they just had that extra gear to put a team away. Every series they played in, there was that game of hope that Portland had, that Denver had. They all the teams they played against had that game of hope where they're like, oh, we've evened up the series, or we've got momentum going our way, and then the Lakers just like, no. And they put them back in their place, and in the aftermath, excuse me, when you look back at it, it's going to look like, okay, they won the first series 4-1, second series 4-1, third series 4-1, championship 4-2. It looks like it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though there were some tenuous moments along the way. But I mean, teams that end up winning the title, they just have to do it, and have to do it for for 16 games
At least.
Right.
And so to stay on the current team, like talking about LeBron, like it's easy to say, oh, hired gun, oh, they bring in LeBron, give him money, they bought this championship. But when you're buying LeBron, when you bring in a LeBron, like that dude has a lot of mileage on him. I think that gets lost in the shuffle, like how many finals in a row he went to. And you're talking about, again, 16 at minimum 16 games tacked on to every season in the league. And how long do you think, because at this point this has got to be his final stop, right? Like,
let's hope.
I mean, if you're in Los Angeles, this is the
he's
one.
He's going to go to the Knicks, and
I don't
then
know.
he will be legendary for sure.
I know, right?
There'll be no more questions of him or MJ. He'll be like, no, LeBron. He won in New York
But
at 40.
Do you think he has enough gas in the tank to get you guys there again? Like, do you think this was
For this year?
or like how long do you think he has in him, like as a Laker specifically?
I mean, I think he's got 2 more years on his contract, so we'll see. But I mean, Anthony Davis can make a lot of people feel a lot younger, when you've got that guy who can pretty much do anything. You don't have to be on the floor as much to stay in games, so that LeBron can come back in those key moments and turn the tide for the team. It's kind of a nice thing to have. It's a good pairing, the two of them together. So, Anthony Davis is going to be there for a few more years.
Yeah.
It might be tempting enough for LeBron to say, you know what, why not take a couple more easy championships and try to get to 6?
That's what I was saying. Do you think if you looking at the Western Conference this year, is there a team that sticks out, that worries you, that you think would get in your way potentially? And do you think LeBron does ultimately get to 6 and catch Jordan?
I thought the bubble was kind of hard to predict because it was such a weird situation. A lot of teams that were playing well before the bubble came in the bubble and really kind of collapsed just because it's such a different environment.
Right.
I think this season still has a lot of that unpredictability to it, just because what's going to happen when a team can only field 7 players. Like, I think didn't the
Sixers
just recently have to like 8 people on their bench.
Saturday night
Nice
played
stuff.
7 had 7 dudes on the, and 8 as well. So, yep.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, you go through stretches like that, and it's really going to hurt some momentum that a team can build if they're trying to stay in the playoff hunt, or if it happens in the playoffs or something. It's gonna it's just going to change things so much. So I don't, it's hard to predict. Right now, I would say, obviously, the Clippers are, when you just look at rosters and how they're performing so far, the Clippers and the Suns are right there. And I just said the Suns to make you feel better, Justin, honestly.
Well, it's funny you said that, because literally as you said that, I just got a notification from the Suns app, and we're getting smoked by the Bullet, or the Wiz. Sorry.
We're down to Atlanta right now, so
104 to 78 at the end of the third.
Jesus.
Getting smoked.
Bradley Beal's going off on you?
Right.
Yep.
Good God.
This is what I get for paying attention / not paying attention. All right. So this year, the city editions, I love the city editions. But man, let me get your thoughts on y'all city editions first.
It's not good.
Okay, good.
I mean, I kind of like when you look at, so the Clippers and the Lakers are from the same city, right?
Mm-hmm.
They play in the same arena,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like the Clippers were like, "Oh, we need to come up with a good design for our city edition," and Lakers were like, just like put our letterhead on it and make it look faded, like a old piece of paper or something like that, and we're done." So I don't think the Lakers front office isn't thinking too much about third jerseys or any of these promotional kind of things. They're just like, you know what? People are going to know we're the Lakers when they see that purple and gold coming. So
damn it,
we'll do these things every now and then, but
who gives a shit what we wear?
Go-to jersey for them, like the Clippers have pretty much embraced it.
Yeah,
they wear like that. I don't know how to describe it, but like Death Row Records writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's their identity now with this new group of players and everything. So that's fine, because I wouldn't want the old Clippers iconography following me around either. So might as well come up with something new.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are always going to be the Lakers. It's like when it comes down to it, they're going to be purple and gold. So
it is hard because you have iconic gear.
Yeah.
It's legendary. It is top tier. Like I said, it's my second favorite of all time, no matter how much I hate the squad. Second favorite of all time. Purple and gold is unbeatable. It is unbeatable.
It's tough to beat, man.
So like,
if Jerry Buss could have his way, it'd be crushed velvet.
I'd be into it.
Right.
But pretty much the only bad gear in the locker, other than the city editions this year, is like the old Minneapolis Lakers, like the
blues.
Yeah, like the powder blue with the white.
Yeah.
Not a big fan. But
what are you going to do about it? I mean, it's the throwback jersey, so you can't really. The only other thing they could have done is like in the 80s and 70s and 80s, they had the purple and gold, but the Lakers was kind of at an angle a little bit. It wasn't straight across the chest. But I guess that's too close to the current jersey. But yeah, I don't know. Like those, when you have such an iconic look, then it doesn't really matter that much these marketing ploys.
That all you lesser teams worry about.
It's great when you're a mid-market, team like the Timberwolves or the Habs or something, and you come up with a cool jersey that people will want to wear because they're not really fans of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're the Lakers, people don't really want to buy these alternative jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get the real deal. I mean, if they already have like 20 of the purple and gold, then yeah, sure, I'll buy one just for, okay, this is the extra one they had that year or whatever. But it's not, you wouldn't look at it and say, oh, that's the Lakers, or that reminds me of Los Angeles. It's just kind of there.
Do you think the Lakers look obviously undisputably awesome? Do you think it's elevated because you guys have the history that you do, or do you think it would be viewed the same way if you had a couple titles, but you guys weren't, right up there with the Celtics in terms of premier organizations in the NBA?
I think it's just a good look.
Yeah.
And just to kind of prove my point, the Knicks have really nice jerseys.
Yep.
I mean, you look at the orange, blue, and white, and it's just a good look. The way it's put together and everything, it's a really nice jersey, and they haven't been great. So
Yeah.
you can still look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely the Knicks. I like that look. You know, it's good. It wasn't like the teams that came out in the '90s and everything had to be teal, all these alternative colors to stand out.
Right.
Because like, I feel like I'm picking on the Timberwolves, but like when you think of the Timberwolves, there's 10 different jersey designs that you can think of almost.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have that iconic look that is established with their franchise. And the older teams like the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Knicks, the Sixers, they do. You kind of know when you see them. It's like, okay, yeah,
Except
I
for
like that look. It's time tested.
Yeah.
The Wavies for Philadelphia. But like, no, it's funny you bring up the Wolves. I think about, so you have the Leitners, like the straight where it was just Wolves, and then Garnett comes in, and then they go into that, it's Timberwolves across the chest, and then they rocked those forever.
A while.
And then I think there might have been, one or two others, and then now they have whatever the hell.
I hate their shit they wear now.
Not like what they're wearing now.
No, it's awful.
I applaud them for going out on the limb,
Yeah, but the
trying
limbs,
something different, finally
the
changing.
limb's broken. Change
but it's
it.
not good.
Right.
Especially when like their the Prince City editions are
So
some of the
good.
best uniforms I've ever seen
So
in my
good,
life.
dude.
So
Yeah.
before we let you go, Dennis, like we're coming up on an hour here almost already. Let's talk about your gear specifically. What is your most prized Lakers possession?
I've got a Magic Johnson jersey.
Okay.
It's great.
Man, jealous.
I'm not really a gear collector, to
Okay.
be honest with you. I used to wear baseball caps a lot when I was in high school and college. And so I would have, my Mets cap, and I to be honest with you, Lakers don't have good headgear. And I don't know if it's just like the color, the purple doesn't look good as a hat or whatever. Like there's one that's all purple with the Lakers in gold across the top, and that one looks okay. But for the most part, the other ones just doesn't look good. And I can't really think of too many NBA teams that really have good baseball caps.
Yeah,
But the Lakers definitely don't. So I didn't really have, I think I had like one Lakers hat. But the jersey I actually have is from Justin, Ben Kent, right?
Yes, yeah.
He actually gave it to me when the Lakers beat the Celtics that year in the finals.
Nice.
And I wasn't expecting it, but it's a treasured possession nonetheless.
I'd imagine so. That's
yeah.
So if you were jersey guy, is there a player throughout the course of obviously sans Magic Johnson that you wish you had, like, and actually let's take the stars out of it. No Kobe's, no Shaq's, no Worthies. I'm talking like a sixth player, like
Nick Van Exel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it won't be Nick Van Exel. I mean, he was good and all that, but it's just not a good time for the Lakers. When he was there. Not his fault, just they weren't a good team.
Yeah. Eldon Campbell.
Yeah. Geez. Alex Caruso, maybe? I don't know. I like that guy. He's a good player.
I had to, because I mean, there's so many star players like in Lakers history. You gotta strip it down.
You gotta
I'm
explore.
not joking though. Alex Caruso is a really good player. He was an important part of their team last year.
Well,
You guys have no idea who I'm talking about.
nope.
I was say, to be honest with you, the name does
white guy.
not. Okay.
The white guy.
That dude.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, I think it's about that time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming in chatting Lakers with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Have a great night, friend.
All right, brother.
And ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Black and Asian talking Lakers with us. I think we were nice considering, well, look.
We didn't go after him too much.
But we couldn't.
Well, when he keeps going, look, all we do is win, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're a Sixers and a Suns fan, what are we gonna say, man?
God bless him.
What are we? Yeah, I mean, enjoy your awesome.
You know what's great is like he didn't even have to go on the tack either.
No, he didn't. He just hey, look at all the banners.
And it's like, damn it.
Like, right. And now, like, we're disarmed.
Yep.
Like, we can't even, like, what are we going to pull out the hatred after he just,
hey,
look
look
in the rafters?
Scoreboard.
Right, you know?
Damn it.
Okay.
Especially when I made it a point to go, you guys were in our way. And he's like, yeah, well, you were never in ours.
Right. You know whose way we weren't? Like, we were in everybody's way. It wasn't just exclusive to you, but Phoenix.
It is hard to you can't argue that the Lakers have like elite level gear.
Oh,
like,
100%.
We've made mention a million times of how we're not basketball gear guys. Like, I wish I was basketball jersey guy because there's so many that I'd purchase right now,
dude.
But I can't because I'm not.
I know, man. I know. What's funny is I even like when I was in shape, you know, I never really was a big basketball gear guy because I don't know what to do underneath of it.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yep.
Like, I'm not. I just don't know.
I can't.
T-shirt.
You can't go bare chest.
Right. Some people can. Even when I was like in my best shape I've ever been in, I don't feel like it would have looked great on me.
But you can't. I wish we still had Dennis to ask him this. You can't be even in shape guy can't rock around in basketball jersey with no shirt underneath. It's just weird. Like, how do you do that?
It feels weird. Yeah. It's very attention. It's very look at me. I feel like when you do, it's. I mean, it's the same as wearing a wife beater in public. And if you're that guy. You know, leave the corner store and go home. You know, fuck, man.
But he brought up a valid point. And I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't know that there's good basketball ball caps.
And I was thinking as he was discussing the Lakers hat situation, I was like, man, there was one hat. It was the year we drafted Markelle Fultz, I think in 2018. The year we drafted Markelle Fultz. For some reason it escapes me a couple years ago. The draft hats I thought looked fucking sick. The problem with them, though, was they had this weird, like, shiny finish on them.
Oh.
Which was kind of goofy. I'm like, I'm not the type of person that can fucking pull that off. Like, but I looked into buying one because I still don't think I own, like, a Sixers hat. So I was like, I should. And but, like, they sold out.
Wow.
Incredibly quick. And I was like, well, okay, there goes that. And I've never bothered since then to go back down and peruse Sixers hats. I just haven't. So I think,
I know what I'm doing.
Right. Now it's research time.
Yep.
You know? Okay, what's out there?
I got Dev's hat on the way.
Hell
I got to look and see if I can get Sun's hat. I got to be my teams. I got to be active again.
Yeah.
And I guess before we go, this has been on the horizon all football season. I can't pick a team now because the Browns were on my radar and they've now won a playoff game.
I am so, first of all, fuck Pittsburgh. Always across the board. But it's so cool to see not just them get their first playoff win, but to see them do it against like the bully of the division to them. You know what I mean? It's I mean that them beating, they don't need to, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. They don't need to. Now, they don't need to go to the Super Bowl for another couple years or whatever. I mean, obviously they would take it if you're a Cleveland fan, but beating Pittsburgh in a playoff game, not only getting your first playoff win since 1994, but doing
Holcomb
it again.
Couldn't do it.
Right, against Tommy Maddox, who tried to kill himself that game. But when you haven't gotten a playoff win in that long and to do it against Pittsburgh of all teams, like that's your Super Bowl right there.
That's a big win.
That's your Super Bowl.
Baker's your guy. Like,
yep,
ride him.
Yeah.
But I can't pick them now, right? Like it's way too late. But they were definitely from the very beginning of the season, like towards the absolute front.
Yeah, and I know you kind of, because I know you had flirted with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a couple I knew that were on your radar. I mean,
it was Cleveland, Los Angeles, because how do you not that Chargers gear?
Exactly, powder blues.
And I briefly entertained the Jets, but Jets. So like,
Yeah.
I can't do that to myself. I'm already a Mets fan. I don't
I was
need
gonna
it.
say it makes sense in the sense that you are a Mets fan.
But I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, man, it's like, oh man, like if you're coming into it fresh, what you could do is always there's no need to rush, man. You know, you don't have to rush into it. It's a long term commitment. You know,
I think so long as they don't win the Super Bowl, I can choose them this year.
Yeah, it's acceptable.
But if they win the Super Bowl, I can't because I've been riding the pine all year.
Yeah, yeah. You either commit now and hope they do, and then you can embrace the win.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the key.
But anything short of the Super Bowl is like, okay, now you have green light to okay, that's where I'm at.
If I hop on now, I can't really celebrate a Super Bowl win if they get it.
No, but the good
I
thing
still get
is,
the Super Bowl win, but I can't.
You can totally
I can't throw
take
it in
credit
anybody's
for it.
face.
If you commit to the Browns, you can throw it in somebody's face. And this is coming from an Eagles fan that just won one a couple years ago and is still paying a just massive price for, you know, whatever the hell we did to piss God off. But no, I think, and it does, the positive of it would be you get to enjoy a playoff game with a rooting interest.
Yeah.
That said, they are playing Kansas City.
Oh.
Which is like running into a buzzsaw.
Right now, yeah.
So
I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, but do you really want to set yourself up for, okay, playoff game, I'm invested. Now just possible potential, right, massive disappointment. Because when they dropped fucking 28 in the first quarter against Pittsburgh last night, it was like, yo, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And then Pittsburgh crept back into it a little bit. And you're like, oh, man, Brown's going to Brown. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they pulled it off. I'm happy for them. I just don't, if it ain't us, which it ain't going to be again for a while, give me somebody different, man.
It is just hard to root against that gear. God,
it's
I love the Browns gear.
Dude. It's so good.
There's very few combinations that don't work for me. There's like what is it? It's a brown with like a white without the outline, I think.
Yeah.
No thanks. I'll pass. The brown pant.
Yeah. I think the key to the Browns gear is you got to go orange pant. I think the orange pant puts it over the top. Whether you have the road whites or the home, like the home Browns. I think the orange pant is
that's what
the
it
best
is.
Look.
They went brown pant and orange jersey with brown numbers, I think.
That was when they did like the goofy alternate, like, oh, we're trying to get cute now because we need something else in there. And it's like, but right, like
please.
You have good, like even the last couple years when they had before they went back to like the look they've got now, the modern whatever, when they had Cleveland across the front. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate those, like the brown ones. But when you start getting into the oranges and the, like you were saying, the ones that just have the number up there with no outline, the alternates, like,
you have something wonderful there. Don't mess with it.
Please don't complicate things, Cleveland.
So I'll continue thinking about where my allegiance lies with Cleveland. You guys think about subscribing, rating, commenting, but the best way you can help is just sharing.
Yes.
Tell somebody you listen to Gear Freaks Pod. You can also follow us on Twitter at Gear Freaks Pod. Follow us on the Instagram at Gear Freaks Pod. Mm-hmm. Please do both.
Yes.
And seriously, we want to talk about your team's gear.
Yes. Get in here.
We were able to put aside our hatred. Now, again, Dennis put us to bed. So, like,
early.
It's
early.
You know, it is what it is.
Right.
But we put aside our hatred for the Lakers and we talked Lakers gear.
Right.
And we're going to talk Rangers gear. That's happening. Mm-hmm. Just saying, we would love to chat about your team's gear. So reach out to us. We can make that happen pretty easily. Also, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you suck. And
we hate you so much.
Los Angeles Extreme, you suck even more. Keep building the list.
Right.
And, man, we talked about the Lakers.
Suckers!